Hello everyone, I am Bhavna Vij Arora and with me is my colleague Puneet Nicholas Yadav. We are here to talk to you about our latest cover story, or rather the subject of a cover story. It's a little offbeat subject, who the eminent sociologist Mr. Ashish Nandi terms as a peculiar mix in the Indian politics. And we are going to talk about Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, who is on our cover this time. We have put him on the cover because he's been in news after the Bihar elections. In fact, he's been talked about more than even probably Tejasvi Yadav, uh, who brought the Mahagathbandhan very close to the victory. But still, NDA won with a slight margin. So we are talking about Mr. Owaisi, who won 5 seats in Simachal area, all Muslim-dominated seats. And naturally, Mahagathbandhan is not very happy about it. And they are calling him a vote cutter. They're calling him the B team of BJP. They're comparing him to Jinnah. So the thing is, all these parties, RJD, they all thought that the Muslim votes would come to them, even the Congress, because traditionally they have been voting for these parties. But now here comes Mr. Owaisi, who is talking about the Muslims and who says that these parties have done nothing for the Muslims. So here he is, and now there to claim the Muslim vote. And now he's won 5 seats, and now he is looking at West Bengal and then Uttar Pradesh. So, Puneet, do you think he's going to make an impact in West Bengal? And what about his chances in Uttar Pradesh later?
I think he'll definitely. I don't know whether he'll win seats or not, but he'll definitely disrupt the voting there in the constituencies which either Trinamool or the Congress or the left parties think that because of the concentration of Muslims, these constituencies are in the bag. But Mr. Owaisi's entry is definitely going to cause some kind of a disruption. To what extent, that remains to be seen, because as you can see with Bihar also, he had contested the Bihar elections in the same area in 2015, but it was a wipeout for the Majlis. And then he came back in 2020. Just ahead of that, in a by-election, he managed to win 1 seat. But that seat is the one that his party lost, which was Kishanganj, in 2020. And but he picked up 5 more. Plus, he notched up a significant vote share in at least 7 to 8 other seats there. So in Bengal, whether he'll strike it lucky in the first go with winning actual seats, that remains to be seen. But he'll definitely cause some kind of a disruption in the whole tactical voting format of the community. In UP, I think it will be even more difficult because there, again, the voting is more fragmented than it is in Bengal, because you have the SP, the BSP, the Congress, all who've been traditionally dependent on Muslim votes to a large extent, and the Muslim-dominated seats. So, the kind of impact Mr. Owaisi is able to make in UP is possibly a bigger question than the impact he'll make in Bengal.
Interestingly, his party, AIMIM, is almost like a mirror image of, RSP and BJP, who he really hates with his own this thing, and he doesn't leave an opportunity to criticize these two, and so do you think his politics is as polarizing as what he accuses RSS BJP of?
He's yes, his politics is very much like the politics of the RSS. I mean, the RSS and the BJP talk about a kind of Hindu supremacy and rights for the Hindus, etc. He talks about rights for the Muslims, but within a very conservative construct. The thing is, and why I think the secular parties, so-called secular parties, hate him a lot, is because his politics complements the politics of the BJP and the RSS. So, for instance, the name of the party, which is All India Majlis-e-Ittehad al-Muslimin, the Ittihad that his party talks about is about unity of Muslims, Ittihad al-Muslimin. And the argument is that when you talk about Hindu about Muslim Ittihad, you're bound to cause a Hindu Ittihad, which is a Hindu unity. So when you say that the Muslims should unite behind me and that is acceptable, why? I mean, the BJP can counter that, if we talk about Hindus uniting behind Modi, why should that not be acceptable?
But do you think he can go beyond the Muslim
So
vote
it is
base?
largely complementary.
Yeah.
Mr. Owaisi's ambitions of taking his party beyond a 7 MLA party of the old city of Hyderabad to other states where there are Muslims in big concentrations. That's a more recent phenomena. Although the party has been around for the past 7 decades. His father, Mr. Salahuddin Owaisi, was a 6-term Lok Sabha MP. He was a 5-term assembly member in the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh. But Salahuddin Owaisi never wanted to expand the party. Mr. Asad Owaisi wants to expand the party. And so, I mean, you cannot just do the party of Muslims, which is why you'll see over the last 4 to 5 years, Mr. Owaisi now also talks about Dalits. And he gives the slogan of Jai Bhim, Jai Meem, of unifying Dalits and Muslims, talking about Pasmanda Muslims, the backward Muslims, more than the elite Muslims that the Congress, the other secular party, so-called Muslim traditional vote bank party, has come to symbolize. So whether he is actually able to do that in his electoral politics, field non-Muslim candidates and ensure that they win, that remains to be seen, because so far the only Hindu candidates Mr. Owaisi's party has ever fielded are in small municipal council elections in Hyderabad, and but he's never fielded a Hindu candidate in an assembly election or a parliamentary election. So, I mean, even in the council elections when he's fielded his Hindu candidates, they've not really swept the polls. They've not really had a great success rate. So whether he can go beyond that, and how a Hindu candidate in a party that is essentially seen as a Muslim party, that's a real challenge for him.
In fact, I asked him that what does he want? Does he want all the Muslims to come and vote for him? So even he doesn't expect that. So what he told me, he says he wants at least one Muslim representative in each assembly in all the states. He said for him that is enough, so that the Muslims have representation in all states, in the parliament and everything. So though somewhere, do you think he has larger ambitions and he actually probably thinks that he can be a kingmaker someday?
I think it's not just that of being a kingmaker. It's also possibly his thing of going national, going beyond the tag of a Hyderabad leader or a leader of the Hyderabad Muslims to being a leader of Indian Muslims. And then I think to a large extent, not just the kind of politics that the BJP does, but even the so-called secular parties, their politics has given cause for the rise of Mr. Owaisi. Because if you look at the political representation of Muslims, it has steadily gone down. The political parties from the secular, front do not field as many Muslim candidates now as they used to earlier. 2014 and 2019, in the history of Indian Parliament and Indian Lok Sabha, has had the lowest representation of Muslims ever. And I think that is what Mr. Owaisi wants to bank on. That, okay, I can get Muslims to rally behind me and win seats. And then maybe a kingmaker someday, I don't know. But definitely as a pan-India Muslim leader, I think that is what he fashions himself as.
Yeah. So everyone, please do pick up the issue. It's a very interesting issue. You'll get to much more about the man who is English speaking, who rides the bike. It's an interesting mix. Please do pick up the magazine. Thank you.